able to be in line or in track with the IEC. Because right now they said they are about to draft a constitution that will reflect our thoughts. So if they are to do that, they're supposed to be in line because the IEC are doing their preparations for the next election that is oncoming, which will be at 2021. So I guess if we will be assured that this new drafted constitution will be adopted, then what the IEC are right now introducing should be in line, of course, with the new drafted constitution, since that constitution is what we are going to adopt in 2021 and ongoing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you have Mr. Jase? Lamin Koli, can you also come so that we won't have to wait?
Thank you very much. Special thanks and appreciation to the panelists for an outstanding presentations. This choreography, in my view, gives us an opportunity to conduct an appraisal of the problems of this country and to be engaged in the physiological examination of the trials and tribulations, concatenations of the events that shape the past and events that we must question the status quo and to shape the future. The first issue or question that I have, I believe that we have rather understood the problem of this country paradoxically. We have myriad number of commissions, open commissions, Jane commissions, Truth and Reconciliation commissions, and several other commissions. I think that the argument that was deposited by Patricia Kamoremboti at the University of Nairobi still stands to be true. That is, there is a moral deficit and ethical deficit in this country. Many an individual who are holding our public positions are in several cases involved in high-profile corruption cases. And each time issues of this nature happen, what do? We constitute commissions. We have the special advisor to the Honorable, to the Attorney General of the Republic of this country, who is also the principal advisor to the President of the Republic of the country. I want to suggest you advise the President of the Republic of this country for the long-term health and realization of the agenda of this country. Not only demands, but it requires that we establish the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. When we have the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, we will not be engaged in establishing commissions that have to probe into financial dealings, malpractices, and maladministration. No wonder we have the Jane Commission. It's a waste of resources and time. Go and ask the South Africans, the Nigerians, and Kenyans the amount of money that they invested in establishing commissions before they actually had the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. The second issue that I want to adumbrate is in relation to human rights issue. My very good brother, I don't know whether you are a land person, but I want to imagine you are. You will be aware of one of the debates that kept too many legal Puritans and legal-minded jurisprudence debating the efficiency and the effectiveness of human rights commissions across the continent of Africa. We have the Continental Human Rights Commission and several other commissions, but the problems that they equally always face is the problem of enforcement. I want to imagine, and I also want to ask, whether in the mandate that you are provided, is there any scope that you have the mandate to enforce some of the human rights violations? If actually you are not being given that mandate, I want to prognosticate, and my prognostication is going to be informed by the recent past in different African countries, that human rights commissions in Africa are merely inebriated. They are merely toothless bulldog. because they often make recommendations, they often lodge investigations, they send reports to various governments, and nothing will come out of it. They merely trample on it. That was the case we have seen as regarding the scene that occurred in Faraba and several other instances in this country. So if that enforcement mandate is not being given to you, let this point be the point of advocacy. It is only by that way then we will complete working on the macadam that will lead us through prosperity for the future of this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jassy. Can I have Mariama J. Jallo? Okoli, yes. Mariama, can you come? Yeah, come. Come here. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning to you all. Today I am very glad to be here as the youth of Lower River region. My question is going to direct to the TRRC man. We have 2 R's in the proceedings. That's the reparation and the reconciliation. And these 2 things are very, very critical, especially that of the reconciliation process, which is an ongoing process, and then it continues over and over. To my suggestion, or I will ask, what modality are you really taking so that the reconciliation part will solely be a localized one, so that the people of the country will have to make ownership of the reconciliation process, and then therefore we will have to forgive each other for the rest, and then it will never happen again. It has happened in South Africa. Nelson Mandela forgive. It has happened in other places. Therefore, when we look at other issues, religious parties can take place in this reconciliation process. We have different religions in the Gambia. They can come together, form groups. Therefore, they go and then preach to their own people. They are almost in contact with them, direct contact. Our imams are at the mosque, almost every day, every Friday, preaching at the mosque. We use them so that they can help us in the reconciliation process. The teachers and the students are in the school. We use them so that they can take up the reconciliation process. The CBOs, community-based organizations, are also there. Let us use them so that they can take up the reconciliation process. If not, the other R's will have to be a problem. If not, the other R will have to be a problem. When we localize the issue, automatically people will have to take up the ownership, and then we will have to forgive and forget for the rest of our life. And then that goes to that of the Constitution, the Human Rights Commission man. I would like also you to take up the same initiative as the CRC people are doing. Make sure the people of the country know their rights, and then they should be responsible enough for their rights, so that we will not have occurrence of violence in our country. To that of my brother, Mr. Fadera, we say Lower River region is the heart of the Gambia. But when we look at it, it's almost 252 or 53 years. If I will say, I can say we are not enjoying the check that the country is taking, that we are eating, especially the Kiangs, especially the Kiang West, especially the Julafar ward of Kiang. These basic amenities of life, we are not enjoying it. Are we not part of this country? What are you doing for us in your planning? What are you doing for us? Thank you very much.
This Jaranka man is very angry today. Okay, we have Mariam.
Good afternoon. My name is Honorable Mariama J. a member of the Children National Assembly of the Gambia. Mr. Sekou Suare mentioned about going to high schools across the country across the country for young people to have the opportunity to participate in the CRC. My question is that is disabled or young children under the age of 18 involved in your programs? Thank you.
Okay, can we have Babukar Jallo? Let's take everything once and then
Assalamu alaikum once again. I am Honorable Boubacar Jallo, Chair National Assembly of the Gambia. Yeah, I had a question, or two questions here. One goes to the man from National Human Rights Commission and TRRC. Yes, National Human Rights Commission. Like in various activities that we've been doing, like we meet children outside and asking them some of the problems that they're facing. And most of the times they've been mentioning about, child protection issues such as maybe child labor. And I think children are also considered as humans, which is the commission is responsible of. Like and several cases of rapes and other things like are mentioned of, which like some will be saying like if a case is given, like a rape case is given to us, or maybe any form of children or human violation is given to us, and like sometimes when they are reported, no one checked it out. Like they don't consider it as something big. Sometimes in the community level, like we will be saying what we call badia. It is just going to be solved in the community level. Or sometimes when it is at the police station again, it is not, they will just be telling you, go back again, we will be coming back to you. The other thing again I have for the Human Rights Commission is like, we consider the disabled as well. As I mentioned yesterday again about the orphans. The disabled, like, they are people that deserve, proper care. Such as, like, when we go to the schools, most of the schools, more especially in the provinces, like, they are not totally friendly to these disabled. Like, in the Children National Assembly, we had one. He is not presently with us by the name Dauda. So sometimes we find it difficult when we lodge in certain places. We find it difficult to move with him, go with him in some other places. So this is what I have for the, the other thing I have is for the TRRC. Like, in case you have somebody who had committed a crime, and the person is like needed to come and testify in this commission, while the person maybe is in Senegal or outside or somewhere else. Do you have the right or the mandate to bring the person back in the country here to testify, or like if the person feels like he will not come or what? This is something that is, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jallo. Can we have Ibrahim Jaba? And Kausudawa. Why is Kausudawa? Yes.
My name is Honorable Ibrahim Jaba, Children National Assembly, the Gambia. My question goes to TRRC. I want to raise a question from what Uncle just said, which is TRRC Act 2017. What is the theme of TRRC Act 2017, or what are some of the violence or abuse or exploitation they look into? 2, it is for general or entire children, or it's for children that has gone under testimony. Testify. Huh? Okay. The number one is Number 2 is, what are some of the policy? No, that's not. It is for general or the children that are victims. Number 3, what are some of the policies if one offend?
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Honorable Kausadava, member of the Children National Assembly of the Gambia. My question goes to CRC. How do you involve the children in the CRC process? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So now we can go back to the panelists. We start with Mr. Sampo. Yes.
Thank you very much. I think this time I have more questions. The first one who said TRRC has 2 R's, reconciliation and reparations, and that these are 2 difficult things, and he believed it's not easy, and he was asking what modalities do we have as TRRC to facilitate reconciliation. I think that's what you asked. I will tell you, and you use examples of using religious leaders, traditional leaders, etc. TRRC understood the fact that reconciliation is not an easy thing, and that is why the Commission has established a unit called the Reconciliation Unit. That reconciliation unit's work is to look at how TRRC can reconcile the people of this country. But also there is a reconciliation committee that the commissioners are part of, that will also look at reconciliation, working hand in hand with the reconciliation unit. The reconciliation unit is doing a lot of outreach, just as other units of TRRC are doing. In fact, all the units are doing a lot of outreach in promoting reconciliation and things like that. Now, reconciliation unit has visited churches and mosques, talking to imams and pastors to use their churches and mosques as places to preach about peace, places to preach about reconciliation and forgiveness. So the committee has been, the reconciliation unit has been doing a lot of that. In fact, just last week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they were in the communities in URR, Koina, Fatoto areas to talk about reconciliation, using the caste system as problems that are happening there, social cohesion, trainings for those communities to be able to live peacefully together without causing any problem. So it's doing a lot of that in all parts of the country. The Youth and Children's Network Unit also of TRRC is going out across the country to schools. You've mentioned using teachers. We have so far sensitized more than 45,000 students across the country in lower basics, upper basic schools, senior secondary schools, and also basic cycle schools, and about 300 teachers across the country. All these schools we will go to, we will talk to them about the mandate of TRRC, we will allow them to ask questions, but we will talk to them about the importance of reconciliation, forgiveness, and the way forward for the country. We are doing a lot of that because we believe when we are able to change the perception of young people from that age, it's easy to grow up with them and promote reconciliation. So with regards to students, teachers, pastors, imams, this is how far we've gone, and we will not stop doing that. As the hearing is going on, a lot of background work is happening in a form of outreach activities, engagement, young people, old, children, all of them are involved. And recently we had a big engagement with the beach youths. Some of you may have seen that on the social media, that the young people that are walking around the beach, that a lot of people perceive as not good people, that they are just bombsters, are engaged, and they confess that is the first time ever that they are involved in national discussion. And they were able to tell us a lot of human rights violations that happen around the beach sites also. Does the TRRC has powers to bring people outside the Gambia to testify? What TRRC does is, if you are mentioned as a participant in human rights violation, TRRC write to you and invite you to come and clear yourself, to come and say what you know about that. But that is not even by force. We use peaceful means of encouraging you and showing you how important it is for you to come and say what you know about what has happened. And that is done peacefully. You come voluntarily and say what you know about that. TRRC will only use force when you refuse. That come and testify, no, I'm not coming. Please come and testify because of this and this. No, I'm not coming. They will use what is called subpoena for summon you to come. Now, adiate akwere nedanku TRRC na testify. If that means for you to be arrested to come and testify, that is what is going to happen. We have seen it so far among all the witnesses. 104 witnesses have testified so far, but only one has been subpoenaed. That is Yankuba Ture, who also come and refuse to testify again before the commission, and we've all seen how it ended with him. So that is still going on, and this is the same thing. We will write to anybody who, wherever you are, to testify. You have an option of coming here to testify, which will be at the cost of TRRC, of course. If you are to travel to come, your traveling cost and accommodation will be at the cost of TRRC to come and testify. But if you cannot come, you have an option of testifying using the internet, using video conference to give your testimony. So we start with peace. We use the carrot instead of the stick. Peaceful means of getting you to the TRRC to testify. Force is only the last resort when there is no means to get you to the commission in the, using peaceful means. What are the kind of abuses that the TRRC is looking at? We say all forms of human rights violations that happened between 1994 and 2017 January. That include tortures, that include disappearances, unlawful detention, killings, unlawful killings that happen here, etc. Anything relating to human rights violations are all part of things that the TRRC is investigating. So I think I've answered all your questions, and I'm told I have only 30 seconds. If I forget anything, you can remind me.
Thank you very much. I'll actually start with the issue of IEC validating to say they're going to use ballot papers or marbles. I mean, at the level of the commission, we are equally disturbed by this development. But I can tell you, you've actually said majority of the Gambians want marble instead. I am not really sure about that. Maybe you were taking reference from the position paper that the National Youth Council submitted to the Constitutional Review Commission. So in terms of the position of the CRC, that is not ripe yet. I'll actually keep that. But just to tell you that there is a simple definition, for a constitution, and this is a very popular one, where we say the Constitution is the supreme law of the Gambia. So it may be a sort of a legal issue also, but at the level of the commission, we are really working on what comes out of our consultation, and this is what we'll basically present to the National Assembly and the President, and subsequently to the National Assembly. But I can tell you also that the National Assembly are part of the stakeholder institutions that we actually consulted with, and then this basically, whether marbles or ballot papers, form key of the issues that we discuss with the Gambian people throughout our consultations, and they're very particular about these issues. So whether disabled, persons within or below the age of 18 are consulted or not. So I'll tell you, I mean, the 2013 census, if I remember right, indicated that about 15% of our population are different from the differently able population, community. So this we appreciate. And then I can tell you we've been really considerate in terms of involving, persons living with disabilities. So when we came into office, our office at Kotu, at Future Like Building, the first thing we did in terms of the structural adjustments was to construct a ramp at the office to enable, wheelchair users to be able to get access to our office. And apart from that, we've employed the service of a professional sign language interpreter to be able to get to individuals who have hard of hearing and deaf as well. And apart from that, at the level of the commission, I can tell you we have 2 other staff who are, persons living with disabilities. So all these are issues that we are taking care of at the office to ensure that no one is left behind. But our position, our issues document that we basically roll out to engage conversations are basically translated into Braille to also ensure that, visually impaired individuals will be able to read and also make submissions. But apart from that also, the frequently asked questions were also translated into Braille. So coming down to our national consultations, we've always have focus group discussions with the people, differently able community. But apart from the nationwide consultations, we've also done what we call the nationwide household survey, where we basically tease out qualitative and quantitative data from the Gambian populace. And during this nationwide survey, quite a lot of priority was given to persons living with disabilities. So we are basically concerned, and I can tell you at the level of the commission, in fact, we've also had a consultation, a stakeholder consultation with Gambia Federation for the Disabled, where different sub-organizations under it were present, and they've also made relevant submissions to the Constitutional Review Commission of the Gambia. Now, where the children are involved, I think I've basically answered that question before, but just to re-emphasize, we basically focus on individuals who will be 18 by 2021, the election year. And this basically means that we have to speak to children as well. So they form basically, an instrumental part of our general consultations.
Yeah. Good afternoon, and thank you once again. The gentleman, you put forward a very passionate question when you spoke about the enforcement mandate of the National Human Rights Commission. Just to reassure you that the National Human Rights Commission Act has given the NHRC the mandate to enforce its decision. But then the problem is not just about giving the Commission the mandate. The problem you highlighted is not only akin to National Human Rights Commission, but some governments can even decide to ignore court's decision. So in this case, what do you do? That is why all these processes try to help one another, try to ensure that at least there is consistency in a program that we are all trying to put in place. And one of the strategies that the NHRC intend to imbibe is to ensure that we continuously provide human rights training and education for all the rule of law actors, in order to ensure that once there is a recommendation from the National Human Rights Commission, it will be enforced, it will be respected. So we try to ensure that there is, for example, we try to inculcate basically to nurture human rights in the minds and activities of all the relevant stakeholders. So in this instance, where the National Human Rights Commission issue a decision or make a recommendation, and we have strong institutions that have been built, obviously those recommendations will be implemented. But aside from that, if you do not have the strong or the required institution, then the recommendations may go in vain. So, and this is where all the other institutions have to stand up, especially National Assembly, they can help in order to ensure that at least these decisions are implemented, because the executive has taken an oath to ensure that the protection and promotion of human rights is ensured. So where they betray that oath, then the necessary institutions should also take up their mandate to ensure that at least human rights is respected in the Gambia.
Do you have any questions? All right, thank you also very much for your questions. I know, well, I am very happy that we've had this kind of discussion. We've had very fearless and very frank discussions about issues as they affect young people, about the 4 distinguished reforms that we have in the country as it affects you. But we cannot take all of your questions, so we'll be going out very shortly. And if you have your questions and your concerns before they go back to Banjul during the networking session, you could actually just raise your questions and they would be answered quite adequately. But before we go, and before I thank my panelists, I would just like to hand over the mic to Mr. Hussein Tomasi. I think he has something to say.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the privilege, because I know you were about to wrap up. I just want to mention that I believe as Gambians, we recognize that the Janneh Commission did a very good job. In fact, the Commission had recovered billions of dollars of state funds. And the time we established this commission, it was imperative that certain actions were taken. It was imperative at that time that we impound some of the properties and then some of the bank accounts through a court order so that these monies don't find their way out of the country and that these properties were also not dissipated. The report definitely has shown that a lot of funds have been recovered and these funds and properties have now been confiscated to the state. So we cannot stand here and say that the Janneh Commission was a wasteful exercise. I think that is not fair. And also let's be mindful of even the level of people that we put at the helm of affairs of this commission. These are highly respectable Gambians that we actually sought after to come and sit on these commissions to assist this nation. I think we owe them a deep gratitude. And we should be very grateful to them that they have done a very good piece of work for this nation. And on the issue of anti-corruption, let me say it's one of the strategic plans of the ministry, and it's also in the National Development Plan that an anti-corruption agency would be introduced by the government. This will happen at the right time. If you look at it, we are sequencing all these commissions. We are now through with the Janneh Commission. We have 2 commissions that are currently in place and they have a lifespan. So with time, the anti-corruption will come in place. It's one of the institutions that will also constitute part of the reform agenda of government. I just wanted to say this. Thank you very much.
Clearly put, thank you very much, Mr. Hussein Tomasi. We want to thank you so very much for coming over, all the way over to the LRR and honoring this very special invitation from the NYC and the UNDP. And of course, I want to thank you all so enormously for coming over here and for giving us your feedbacks about the various reforms in the country. And of course, I want to thank my panelists. I want to thank Rahis Samba from the Office for National Security, Seiku Suare Jabai, Communication Assistant from the Constitutional Review Commission, and Babukar Samu from the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission, as well as Babukar Job, National Human Rights Commission, Mansour Job, that is, National Human Rights Commission. And we want to thank you also very much for being here. We want to thank Alaji Fadera, all the National Assembly members. I am glad that the discussions have been very frank. They have been very fearless, and we want to assure you that this will be happening quite often. And personally, I want to thank the National Youth Council, of course, for giving out this very wonderful opportunity for me personally. And I want to thank you all. Do have a wonderful day. I hand you over to Mr. Lamin Dabo.
Ladies and gentlemen, they are not going anywhere. Where is Captain? Where is Capsize? Put your hands together for Capsize. Show some love to Capsize. If you don't show love, no lunch for you.
Carry on, my baby. She love me for me. She no love me for money. Carry on, my baby. She love me for me. She's original. Call on me, my baby. Just call on me, and I'll be there. Carry on, my baby. She love me for me. She's original. Carry on, my baby. She love me for me. She's a. Carry on, my baby. She love me for me. She's a original. Girl, you bring me joy, you give me love, you are my sunshine. Mobile lafita, but she is mine. The world turn around, people turn, things kept changing. Don't turn your back from me, she said never. Some of them bring her diamonds, others bring her gold. Her mama say $1 million man, she said no. Her papa tell her this one a rich man, she said no. Are you going crazy? No, I'm drunk in love. Carry on, my baby. She love me for me, she no love me for money. Carry on, my baby. beautiful. Thus I've seen, you are my heart best friend. I have been across the world, only you I see you. I have seen different faces, only you I want you. You are in my heart, you are in my mind. You are in my mind, you are in my heart. I have been across the global, only you I see you. I have seen different faces, you are my heart. Itelemu, nasunkutu nyima. Itelemu, nasera dima. Itelemu, nasunkutu nyima. Itelemu, nasera dima. You are beautiful, you are beautiful, you are beautiful. My central girl, you are beautiful, you are beautiful, you are beautiful. My Gambian girl, you are beautiful, you are beautiful, you are beautiful. My motherland girl, you are beautiful, you are beautiful. You are beautiful, my baby. Girl, I love you for so. Girl, I need you for so. Welcome home to your everlasting home, the mother of my child. Welcome home. From today, you are independent. Anything you want, ask me, give it to you. You are like a princess in the kingdom. I will offer you anything because I'm your servant. I said, ni fata jango kake pati bachi. Jindi balkarelo ni coming home soon. Only this song. Turururu, turururu, you keeps me waiting. My love, I'll be coming back home for you, my love. Loving you is forever in this life. I will never leave you. I'm a coming soon. You missing I and I'm a loving you. Tell me what you like. I'ma bring it along. When I'm all alone on my bed alone, I used to hear your voice calling in my dream, sweetheart. I'm missing you. And when I call you, keeps on crying, baby, don't you cry. You keeps me waiting so long. When shall you be back? You keeps me waiting so long. When shall you be back? I'm a coming back home for you, my love. I'll be coming back home for you, my love. I buy a fancy car and I give you the key. I build a big house and I give you the key. Aeroplane in the sky, green visa for free. I don't know much but I am in loving. My mama land girl, this I feel is real. Wait for my arrive, everything shall change. And when I come home, nothing shall be the same. I'ma be your trouble killer. You keeps me waiting so long. When shall you be back? You keeps me waiting so long. When shall you be back? I'm a coming back home for you, my love. I'll be coming back home for you, my love. I'll forever love you, my Gambian girl. I will stand strong for you, my mama land girl. I'll forever love you, my African woman, because my black woman, your kindness made in heaven. You give me satisfaction, that's why I'ma love you. Centuries to come and the one I love is you. Silver ring for you, diamond chain for you. Don't be afraid, soldier and weapon. Be there for me and I will never let go. I feel I would have taken you to heaven. Yes, I love you, baby. You keeps me waiting so long. When shall you be back? You keeps me waiting so long. When shall you be back? I'm a coming back home for you, my love. I'll be coming back home for you, my love. You keeps me waiting so long. When shall you be back? Waiting so long. When shall you? I'm a coming back home for you, my love. I'll be coming back home for you, my love.
Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Make some noise for DJ Capsize.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. The good news is, Capsize, if you are interested in recording any video, NYC will give you a music video. Come to Combo and we work it out. Well done, well done, well done, well done, well done. We always want to promote the talents, especially from the grassroots. We want to make sure that maybe the next open mic, December, Capsize, prepare to be at the open mic, huh? Yes, prepare so that you're on the open mic. Let me tell you one logic. Artists, food products, anything that has to do with business. It's not just the content and quality, it's the support you give. If you support, they grow. If you don't support, they die, no matter how good they are. If you have someone coming here talking and put your hands together, people are like, forget it. If you stand here someday, nobody will clap for you. Clap for people who actually deserve to be clapped for. Very good. So thank you so much. I want to use this opportunity and I want to request that you put your hands together and give these people a very big round of applause. You know, when you have people who are willing to volunteer their time, go extra mile to engage, to share the little they know, we most sincerely appreciate it. So please, the young people from the different mechanisms established by government, I want to use this opportunity on behalf of the Gambia National Youth Council, UNDP, and the entire young people of the Gambia to thank you sincerely for taking time within your busy schedules and taking this as a moral responsibility to be here to share with us the little that you know. You have all been here with us since yesterday, and you've seen the efforts our young people are putting in place, and you are also contributing your quota. So we are grateful. Please extend our appreciation to your leadership at various mechanisms, and please tell them that we look forward to receiving them to joining us in the other subsequent events that we'll be having, the dates of which we will communicate as soon as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sure you'll all agree with me that our moderator did well. Give her a big round of applause. Trust me, if she can do this today at her age and with the environment, nobody is restricting anyone. You can ask any question and explore your talents anyhow. I have no doubt in the next 5 years, while we talk about NDP, one of the products of NDP will be she will also be at CNN or BBC. So we look forward to that so that she can definitely go beyond the source and the length and breadth of this country. We have seen raw talent. I can tell you she has not gone to any media university like others will have gone to, but she's able to articulate issues and be able to connect different issues, ask relevant questions. You cannot do that if you are not prepared, if you are not willing. So the passion is there. So Madame Jammeh, I know you are going to be that, the one we will all be running after in the street and say, that's her. We want Fatou to come to our event. So thank you so much. That's our prayers. Let me also say that sincerely, I want to use this opportunity to thank the local authorities, the leadership of Lower River Region. I must say that from the National Assembly members to the councillors, to the chiefs, to the women councillors, to the chairman of the Mansakonko Area Council of Lower River Region, you have all been quite amazing and you have done your part. You have not only come here, but you've also, in fact, participated by asking relevant questions. And even take this dialogue to the next level. To say from here, we want to have the report at the parliament. So whether that is just, you consider it's just a word, but we take it quite serious. That you have taken this matter, not just a meeting within the confines of RDI Hall, but a matter of state interest, national interest for that matter. That whatever we say here has definitely an impact at the national level. And the National Assembly is interested to talk about this report even at the national level. And this shows our interest. You could have just come and you feel it's not important, or you even sit in your house and you do not come. We cannot do anything. but you decided to drive all the way to come over and join us here and ask questions, but also take commitments that we need to take this further. If all our events where we have duty bearers, there are key questions and they are taken to the next level, trust me, everybody will take us seriously. So we are glad and really appreciate that commitment. To the area council, since yesterday you have also been with us under the chairmanship of Landing Bisane. We are grateful. We hope that the development needs we mentioned will also be taken to the next level. My brother asked Fadera, and he's not around, but I will say all of us are from LRR. So we need to actually answer. Maybe we need to have our own LRR forum to answer some of those questions. Whether you are in Youth Council or you are in Ministry of Finance or in Ministry of Defense or you are elsewhere, we need to have the LRR forum where we are going to ask each other, what actually are you doing? If you are planning, if you are implementing, or if you are developing, what are you developing for LRR? And we'll definitely look forward to that. So let's give our local authorities, our leadership, a big round of applause for honoring our invitation and being here with us. I want to also use the opportunity again to thank Mr. Tomasi and the government of the Gambia for not just the solidarity, but for taking ownership of this dialogue process. Often I will say, many people say we need to dialogue. If there is any crisis, we need to dialogue. If there is any problem, we will all hear from the media, from people say we will need to dialogue. But hardly someone initiated dialogue. And even if you initiate dialogue, some people will not actually have time. So the mere fact that the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General was the first, I must say, he himself was present in the first dialogue. And he gave his blessing in KM and said, we will be with you throughout. And from that place up to now, almost every dialogue, we are not just being asked, there is someone in Mansakonko to represent us, but they drove all the way from Banjul to make sure they are in Biam and they are here with us, and they'll be with us throughout. Speaks volumes of the commitment to ensure that these reform mechanisms, the ideals, the objectives, and the impacts they can create are communicated to our citizens. The only way we can take care of rumors, the only way we can handle hearsays, the only way we can, also provide accurate information instead of misinformation is for the people who have the information to reach out to citizens and talk to them. If I don't have, I want to inform, I will inform miserably. And one quote I picked from Buyam, from Honorable Amul Nyasi, when he quoted someone, one Usman Cham, he said, the most dangerous poison is someone who communicated effectively, who communicated misinformation effectively. If you have a misinformation, that's not clear, but you communicate it effectively, it is a very dangerous poison. So we want to ensure that we are not a very dangerous poison. We want to have the accurate information and the correct information and make sure that it's passed. And that's why we get all of you. When we divert, you correct, bring to our attention, to light. It cannot all be wrong, but of course, it cannot all be right also. This work in progress, we are in transition from dictatorship to what we call a democracy. We are not yet there. But the only way we can be there is if we continue to have a conversation, to have all the points together, stitch it, and we'll be able to have a better picture as to where do we want to go. So we want to thank you sincerely. Please extend this regard to the Honorable Minister and the entire government for their support. I must also add that Ministry of Justice has recognized the role of National Youth Council and young people in almost all the reform processes that they led. They wrote to us to get someone in the TRRC, and we get someone there. They wrote to us to get someone in the CRC, and we get someone there. And they also get us in the core team of the transitional justice process in the country. And of course, also in the drafting committee of the transitional justice strategy. And I can say that those are things that we are always proud of, and we share with our colleagues in other countries that our government has not left us behind in terms of the reform mechanism. What is now left is how do we make sure that we are able to provide our inputs as expected. Finally, to our media houses and to the young people, put your hands together for yourself. I thank the media houses for being by our side and amplifying our voice, but also to you, the participants. Without you, we would not have been here. But you are the reason why we are here. I said it at the opening, you are not just young people. Whether we know it or not, whether we agree or not, you are also role models. In your house, compounds or elsewhere, sometimes our parents rely on us to even interpret when it comes to certain conventional norms or issues like democracy or issues that have been said on social media. They ask us. I work with young people even before the political impasse, during campaign and impasse, when old people will be asking, be internet or for? And it's a young one who will play for them audios, WhatsApp audios. And up till now it's happening. Be doing internet or for? And we are playing them. If we are able to understand, facts from fictions, if we are able to understand the reality, we'll be able to play the right audios to our parents than play any other audio to them. And we'll be able to also share with the rest of our friends. So you have a responsibility. In peer health, we said we must all adhere to the principle of learn and teach others. And I hope from here, we will all take up that responsibility to share with the rest of our colleagues who are not opportune to be here, to know more about the National Human Rights Commission, the CRC, the Security Sector Reform, and also the TRRC. But I can tell you for free, work with your National Assembly members, work with your councillors. If you need a follow-up action, even on this, contact us. We will make ourselves available, and we can mobilize all the mechanisms to come to your ward or come to your constituency and make sure we have a similar dialogue. And on the language of your choice, the language you even want, so that we can make sure it's there. If you want it in video also, we can even come and play video for them. Just ensure that you are able to coordinate with your people at constituency level or at ward level and get in touch with us through the Regional Youth Committee. We are more than willing to definitely do that. And I am sure Ministry of Justice had ever been at our disposal. I must tell you, even if it is after 4, he's in our office if it has to do with young people to guide us through. And he will be there, or he will assign someone who can guide this process. So this is just the beginning. I hope that we can all collectively work and take this to the next level. No one will develop this country. No one is going to secure this country for us. And no one is going to take this country to our dreams. The dreams we have in our head, things we complain about, nobody will solve it for us. We cannot continue to also manage. My final word is a reminder to government present here and to the young people. The key word at the moment is around peace. How do we sustain peace in this country? But let government know we cannot maintain peace by force. It has never happened anywhere. It cannot happen in the Gambia. But let young people also know we cannot get justice or peace by force. It has never happened anywhere. So what it requires is a compromise. What it requires is a dialogue. And that's what we have started. We hope that everybody will take this as a responsibility to dialogue. But not just to call for dialogue, but to even call for dialogue. As citizens who are interested in the peace and stability, but also in the development of this country. To hold the government accountable and to support a government are not mutually exclusive. We can do this. You can hold someone you put in office accountable, but you can support him to succeed. Because if your area council fails, there are only few indicators. It means they cannot provide water, electricity, or so. So it means for 5 years you will be there without water, electricity, or other services. So you are the one who suffers when they fail. So supporting them means making sure they do their job, but you support them to make sure you also have service. Your life is improved. So we can do both. And I want to challenge my young people to continue doing the great job they are doing. We are not letting go. We are going to work with government, but we are going to ask the most difficult question also. So thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. Lunch is ready. We can have our lunch, and there are other housekeeping things with finance in terms of transport reform. We can actually contact them so that we receive that. And thank you so much for coming, and we look forward to seeing you in other venues. Thank you so much. All right.